Hey guys, welcome back. Man, ground and pound action. Tommy and his son take it to a whole new level.
What's on, baby?
This is cool. Good stuff.
This is a great hunt. We're going to join Tom Alford and his son Jack for another.
Did you forget his last name there for a minute, or
his
what?
son Jack, I think his last name's Alford.
We talk to him every day.
We're going to join them for a fun hunt, so let's take a look right now.
Well, November 1st, sweet November is officially here. We're forced to make so many different decisions on where to hunt. All the properties that we hunt, unfortunately, are very complicated. And each one has very different conditions, what you can and can't hunt, wind, human activity. Like my one spot, for instance, that I wanted to go to today is right next door to a gun range. And there's 30 people out there today shooting guns. Not a good idea. And I'm talking 20 acres. I can't get away from gunfire, so we're not going to go there. Had an incredible encounter with another big giant buck yesterday that was just a magnum 10-pointer. Love to go try to hunt him, but I think we're just gonna, it's just, no, too hard in this kind of wind. I actually think that the deer like to get out in the wide open when it is this windy. So Junior and I have decided to ground and pound in a cattail swamp and right on the edge of some good bedding. And you know, there's been a lot of does that have been kind of using this area. They've been basically feeding in the winter wheat field. Originally I was actually upset that the farmer had planted winter wheat, but holy cow, has it been a great little food source. And the beans were picked so early they actually resprouted and they're growing, so I think that's what the deer are feeding on. But there's like 6 or 7 does that live right there. I think, like I said, it's going to set up perfect for a lot of wind because we'll be in a cattail swamp, so hopefully we can get away with a lot of movement. The deer, I think, will feel more comfortable coming out in a wide open field to feed in this in these conditions because, you know, they don't have the wind advantage because it's swirling. They can't hear as much, so you know they're going to rely more on their eyesight, and obviously they're hungry. So let's do that, huh? What do you think about that? Solid plan. He's filming tonight, and he's filming until I shoot one, and he's patiently waiting for me to shoot one.
Yeah.
He's like, hurry up and shoot one, so then I can go shoot one. You look like a ninja. You look like an Ewok. How do you feel?
Feel good. Feel like a bush.
Feel like a bush?
Mm-hmm.
Feed the tree?
Yeah.
You can see here, this is the little makeshift thing that I use. It works awesome, to be honest with you. It's one of the best things I've ever done. Allowed me to be really mobile, try new things. It's kind of a pain to carry. I need to get like a carrying case made for it because all that duck blind material and fake plants tend to snag on absolutely everything. Along with our ghillie suits, which are definitely not snag proof. We can see the little trail where we walk in. There's all sorts of old ghillie material stuck on every tree, briar, branch. You tend to pick up a lot of sticks. So I actually modified my legs and cut about half the material off. But anyway, we're gonna go slow because we know that we don't want to get all sweaty. It is whipping 50-mile-an-hour winds, so we're gonna go slow. We're gonna get to that cattail swamp and then we're gonna be real quiet. I have an idea where we're gonna go, and I think it's gonna work. So let's get going.
I'll carry your bow.
Bow. All right. Jack will carry the bow. It's cooler than this thing. All right, let's go. Lose all our arrows. should be able to get away with a lot of movement. Being in this cattail swamp like this. Not that we're going to be moving a lot, but these deer get close. It's hard to get away with anything. Alright, we're gonna try to get them fired up here. Go ahead and do a little audio sequence and then rattle. Hopefully pull something down out of that bedding area. Here we go.
Yeah. 10 yards on the ground, baby. Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. That was so awesome. Dude, he didn't even see me. I was like,
Bro, he was right.
stood up. Oh, the ghillie, baby.
Oh my god.
10 yards. 10 yards.
We're right there.
Good job, buddy.
Oh, let's go. Good shot. He's running.
The arrow just disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
I was all nervous because I was like, oh no, it's gonna get stuck in my gills. It's gonna get stuck in my gills.
Oh my gosh. That is insane.
Didn't go 20.
He's dead right there.
All right, well, that deer had no clue what the heck just happened. He probably just thought Chewbacca shot him. When he came in, I just kept going to Jack. I'm like, is everything okay? Everything? He's like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm following him. I'm perfect. I'm on him. I'm like, okay. And I need to concentrate on this shot. So sure enough, I stood up and shot.
Yeah,
they cannot figure you out with this ghillie suit. We had those deer come in close. We had that other buck come in close.
And those does were right there too.
Oh
They
yeah,
followed
we had multiple deer within range, and it was awesome, dude.
That was pretty awesome.
Dude, that was awesome. I mean, it felt good to smoke one too.
Yeah.
I think I actually hit him like right in the front, but. Woo! All right, so what do we have to do now?
Get the lights.
Gotta get the lights. We'll check right back.
BBD.
Yes! BBD?
BBD, baby.
No way, dude!
Yeah. A big buck.
Add a deer head to the collection.
Yeah.
So Chewbacca 1 and Chewbacca 2. Anyway, it's been about 40 minutes since we shot this deer. Justin came over. Thank you for coming over and giving us a hand. We figured we'd go back to the truck and regroup a little bit. Got a pretty strong sneaking suspicion that this deer is dead, but we did not actually see him fall down, so we are going to pick up blood and follow him over there. We thought we heard like a pretty large crash right at the edge of the field, and I think he gave it everything he's got just to get out of that field. So I did review the footage. I took a quick peek at it. I mean, I think it looks perfect, absolutely perfect. What you won't see in this shot is when the deer comes up. Jack was filming it down here, and he's like, yeah, everything's good, everything's awesome, it's perfect. I'm like, okay. And the deer was so focused on trying to find the sound from when I was grunting and can calling, so he was looking away. I actually stood up, so the arrow actually is coming down on him. We were at such close range, and I was able to stand up. These suits, the deer just cannot figure you out. They have no clue what you are. He saw me moving, but it didn't even faze him. He had heard that sound, and that's what he was after. So it worked out perfect. We had an incredible night. I think we've got a dead deer at the end of the trail. All right, Junior, why don't you pick up this blood? Let's go.
Oh, I split your arrow.
He's pumping. So I did not get a pass through, but I must have driven it into that offside shoulder because it hit pretty hard and it turned the knock off. But it looks like it went in that far, right? Or he's just spraying. You got that right.
Blood. Got some bubbles in it.
Yeah. There you go. He must have stopped over here. It's got to be close.
What?
Right here. Look out on the grass right there in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, look at that. Look at this. Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Hey, get in there and drag him out.
This
Go, baby.
is your deer.
Dude, that's a nice buck right there.
Absolutely.
That's the exit
think?
right there. That's a nice deer, man.
Yeah. That was a killer combo. We got it done together.
Yeah, that's the exit.
It did exit, huh? All right, yeah.
All right, well, here he is. You got him all drug out. Took a little better look at him, and he is one dynamite deer. You know what the deal was? After Jack shot his buck, he had to film me until I was able to harvest one, and it all came together tonight. It was just absolutely great hunt. We had a bunch of does come out. We passed them. We let them walk, and we just knew at some point a buck was going to come out. And sure enough, the first buck that came out into the field was a little bit too small. But to be honest with you, I was actually pretty tempted to shoot him because we just, I don't know, we're having a blast. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not super concerned about antlers anymore. I just sharing memories with the boy, and this is just, you know, basically teaching him how to hunt and, you know, situations and stuff like that. And he's just absorbing everything like a sponge. Not that I'm like the world's greatest deer hunter or anything. We make a lot of mistakes together, but we're having a ton of fun, and this just paid off tonight. Rattled him right into about, I think it was like 10 yards. I mean, put a perfect shot on him and didn't make it out of the field.
What do you think,
Great.
Jack?
It's cool to see me get a buck and then him do the same thing, both on the ground too.
Both on the ground. I mean, we look absolutely ridiculous, but this is a really fun way to hunt. I'll tell you right now, we've had so many close encounters. Deer at 5-10 yards, they just can't figure you out. You know, we did some grunting, some can calling, and some rattling. And deer are amazing creatures. They are really able to pinpoint sound, but when they get in there, they know that's where that sound came from. But they can't figure out what we were. And those cattails, the wind was kind of blowing back and forth, and you know, you're able to get away with a lot of movement. I actually stood up while Jack stayed seated and filmed. I stood up and shot this deer. I mean, he was looking right at me the whole time. I mean, it was just crazy. And the problem that I had going on when I was sitting there was this, I need to modify this a little bit. I was struggling a little bit with my bow, so I felt like I needed to stand up and then clear some of this stuff, and just felt really comfortable doing it. And like I said, made a perfect shot, hit him right in the heart, exited right, you know, back of the lungs, and I don't know, man. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome. So we finally got a buck down in Illinois here. We both do. They're both about exactly the same size too.
Yeah.
We're gonna do dueling European mounts, and 2020's been great for us. So we're excited. We're gonna get a tag on them, get them cut up, and haul them home for the girls to see. Thanks for filming, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
All right, guys, another exciting hunt from Tommy and Jack. Some more ground and pound action. Tommy's like this is all he does now. Like, he barely hunts out of tree stands anymore. He's just having so much fun every time I talk to him. Like, they just went out and bought those ghillie suits a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I told him, like, they look ridiculous.
I sold mine too. I used to have one.
Like a legit one, like what he's
I
got,
had,
or like
I had a
leafy
legit
suit?
one. I don't even know why I bought the thing. I had it. I don't know if I was in my ninja days, being a dork or what. I had a good one.
Well, Tommy and Jack, man,
they're cool.
they got it done. They've been moving around. You know, it was just a cool hunt, and the thing that I enjoyed the most about it, like, is the fact that, like, no, it's not the biggest deer that Tommy's ever shot in his life, but his goal for this year, like, Jack is at that age where, like, he's ready to cut him loose on his own, right, and go experience hunting, but he wants him to get, you know, some of that experience with him so that he can learn a little bit, so that when he cuts loose, man, he's ready to go.
Dude, he's ready to film. Yeah, I think he films better than Jert right now. I mean, that
well,
kid's ready
dude,
to go.
Jack did an awesome job on the camera. But I mean, I remember being a young hunter, or even before I was hunting, and my dad taking me along with him.
Yeah, it was more like, hey, Justin, go hunt over there somewhere.
This was when, like, my dad would be in a tree stand and I'd be sitting on the ground at the bottom of the tree. But being with him, well, dude, we didn't have safety harnesses and all that stuff back in those days.
Until you peed out to stand on you.
It's getting a little weird here, but like, I remember, like, those are some of my fondest memories as a kid, was being with my dad and kind of hunting both of us together before I, you know, ventured out on my own. So I hope Jack is enjoying every minute
are you
of this,
kidding me? His reaction said it all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great.
They've been. One thing I want to talk about, though, because, you know, I went with Tommy when we recovered that deer, that I just thought was the craziest thing. When you watch the shot, right, that deer is basically broadside to Tommy. So Tommy's on the left side of Jack. The deer stops. I mean, if anything, he's 1 or 2 degrees, slightly quartered to. He shoots that deer and he hits him kind of right in the front leg, low shoulder area, and you see the knock kind of like do this. You can see the lighted knock, almost like a Z shape. And as that deer moves, all of a sudden you see the arrow is stuck almost like backwards. And then you see where the arrow exited out of that animal, which is completely not where I would have thought the arrow would have exited. But I mean, it clearly hit a piece of bone or something and ricocheted and deflected backwards like that, because that arrow exited mid-body on the other side. So when we walked up to the deer, like Tommy had sent me the shot footage, before I went out there, and I was like, sweet, it looks perfect. Deer's definitely dead. We go out there, and the first thing we see is the exit hole, and I'm over here going like, what in the heck happened with that? It was just very,
but we've
very
been
strange.
talking about this, Justin. I mean, so many times we play in our brains. If we take a decoy and we said, I hit the deer here, we automatically assume that it's a perfect straight line through, and that is complete BS. It's BS. It doesn't happen. When you are hitting a rib or a rib cage or anything, man,
that front leg or shoulder,
I'm telling you were
hit.
giving me a hard time with that buck I shot earlier this year. I'm telling you, I could not get that arrow, in where I shot it, and then out, because it is deflecting. It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
no doubt.
And
that's one of those things where, we're fortunate enough because we film our hunts, we can go back and we can watch and see things. And even with the film, sometimes you can't see the whole picture. For all of you guys that are out there that are bow hunting, what you see or think you see with your own two eyes so often just isn't what's really happening. And then you find the arrow, you find the blood, you watch the deer's reaction, and if everything doesn't add up, chances are something isn't right, and your best option is typically to wait. Obviously, in this case, Tommy didn't need to. He heart shot that deer. It was dead in 40 yards. So congrats to Tommy and Jack. It's been a heck of a season. Tommy says it's Jack's turn to hunt now, but we all know it's the peak of the rut in November, and Tommy's doing his best to get out there.
Yes, he
and
is.
keep hunting.
Ask the expert, Justin. You are on a roll. Your
baby.
motor mouth is going today. This is
one,
unlike you.
Oh man,
What do we got here?
This is one of my favorites.
I didn't read it.
Favorites.
Who's up? Go read it.
Perry Pappas, I believe, says I can shoot tight 3-inch groups out to 40 yards. However, at that distance, an animal can move a lot. What is the maximum ethical distance an archer should let an arrow fly? At 40 yards, I once videoed a doe that dropped 12 inches before my arrow got there.
Long question.
That's a loaded question. What do you say, Graf? Max ethical distance, we're going to say on a white-tailed deer shooting your bow.
Answering that question verbatim as you just said, I would say is 30 yards. For me, I really like it to be less.
So your max is 30.
My max is 30, man. I'm telling you, that's me.
My max is 40,
things.
but I will tell you, it's got to be pretty well perfect. Like, it's got to be like a deer feeding in a food plot type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a buck just cruising through the woods and I stop him and probably not taking that 40-yard shot. I might do a 35-yarder, but man, there's just so much that happens. And I know we've talked about this before, and there's so many guys that come on and, and I see plenty of, hunting pros and other guys that are shooting deer at 50, 60, 70, 80 yards, and I'm just like biting my fingernails over there.
That's how I feel.
It's just not for me. But I think the hard part about this is talking about what is the ethical distance, because I think ethics is a very subjective thing. What's ethical to you may not be ethical to me,
I agree.
and vice versa. So we can't impose our beliefs on other people. 40 is my self-imposed maximum, and I don't really like anything over 30, to be completely honest with you. The closer the better. That's why we're bow hunters.
That's it.
All right, trophy photos, Graf. You ready to do this? Got some good ones this
I'm
week.
ready. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Alec Wendler.
Carter Koshin.
Curtis Hoffman.
Josh Alpers.
Josh Enlow.
And Nick Culpit.
Hey guys, as always, thanks for submitting your trophy photos. Always fun to look at them. Josh, I know what you're trying to do there with that COVID mask. Josh
Enlow.
He wanted to be mentioned, and he knew he would be mentioned if we were to, with that mask on.
I don't think you can catch COVID from a dead deer, but what do I know?
He didn't have the deer properly. It worked getting our attention, but I'm sorry. Carter, you are the winner of this week's trophy doe competition. Trophy
Whoa.
competition.
Are you insulting
trophy
the size
photo.
of his deer,
No,
Todd?
I'm not. It was a great deer. Get us your information, and we will get your prize pack sent out to you. Until next time, hunt. That is as simple as I'm
It's
keeping
early
it.
November. Go hunting. Doesn't matter what the weather is. Just go hunt.
And get a COVID test if you need it. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
You know, the deal was basically after he shot his buck, he
Camera's
had
up here. Hey, camera's up
Oh,
here.
I can't see where you're at. Okay.
The camera's up here.
All right.
So
Gotcha.
do
All
it.
right, let me do it over.